So welcome to another episode of the APWASI Wine Buzz. Today's guest comes from one of the most inspirational wine producing areas of the world. They are starting to make their mark for many, many reasons. And today it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the owner, Roy Itzhaki, who is the owner of Tulip Wineries in Israel. Now, there's so many things about Roy, but I thought the best person to share that with you would be Roy himself. Roy, welcome to the APWASI Wine Buzz.
Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure for me to be here to speak with you guys.
Thank you so much. Shalom to you. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. Now, Roy, why is the winery called Tulip?
To be very honest with you, my family name is Itzhaki, which is a very bad name for a winery. To be honest, nobody can pronounce Itzhaki in the world except the Israelis and the Dutch people. And we had many years ago, we had a Friday dinner. Every Friday, all the family sitting together. It's according to the Bible also, but Shabbat. It's also, Shabbat dinner. So we were sitting, the whole family. So I asked my family, hey guys, please give me some names. I need names because Itzhaki is a very bad name for a winery. Please give me a name. And my mother, she was drinking a Pinot Noir in a glass shape called Tulip glass shape, but it looks like the flower. And my mother said, Roy, call the winery Tulip. It's amazing flower. Everybody likes the flower. Everybody in the world can pronounce Tulip, and there is a glass of wine Tulip. So Tulip is the name, and to be honest, you cannot argue with the Polish mother. So I accept the advice that she gave me. So Tulip since then until now.
Well, you're a very wise man. I can see you have heard from Solomon. So well done. Now, I see on your website, Roy, you also have, I think it's pronounced Maia.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is more of a Mediterranean style. Is that another brand? Like you're still using the same facilities at Tulip, but you've rebranded it with perhaps a different style of making wine. And is that what you've done there?
Yes, more or less. It's the facility is the same, but I can say it's a different winery, not only because of the facility, because in Maya winery, actually Maya, it's initials of Mediterranean approach Israeli art, and this is the whole concept of the winery.
Yes.
So it's not only the same facility, but we have different vineyards, different varieties, different winemakers.
Yes.
So totally different from Tulip conceptuality and also physically, except that the tanks and the barrels sitting in the same place like Tulip, but everything is totally different. And actually, I don't know if you want to talk about it, but why I decided to open another winery. This is a great story.
Tell me that story. Share with the viewers, please.
Yeah, the reason that I decided to open another winery, Maya Winery, started in 2011, like 11 years ago. It was August, and as you probably know, August in Israel is very, very hot season. So I had a visitor from the States, a wine guy. His name is Josh, and me and Josh we were having lots of meeting in Jerusalem city from the morning till the evening, including wine festival in the night. And in the middle of the day, lunchtime, I took him to a chef restaurant in Jerusalem. We ordered the food, and then the sommelier came with the wine list and asked us, guys, what kind of wine do you want to order? So I gave Josh the opportunity to choose the wine because he is my guest. He told me, no, Roy, you will choose the wine because you're paying the lunch. I told him, okay, but just tell me what color do you want? White, rosé, or red? And Josh told me, I want a red wine. So I opened the wine list, and all the Israeli wines that was in the wine list are very, very heavy red wines.
Yeah, big, bold, brave, yeah.
Big, bold, ripe everything that
Yeah,
comes
of course.
to strong wine. And it was August, 35 degrees Celsius outside, long day, lots of tastings. So I wanted, easygoing quality red wine, but
Of course.
I couldn't find Israeli ones in the wine list. So the first time in my life, when I have visitor, I ordered South French wine from Rhone Valley.
Okay.
We drank, we ate, and then we finished. We go into the car to the next meeting, and just asked me, Roy, tell me, how come you ordered French wine and not Israeli wine? You should impress me with your industry. I told him, you're absolutely right. It's the first time in my life, but since you asked for red wine and all the reds were very, very heavy, and to drink half a bottle in the middle of the day when it's 35 degrees outside,
Takes
it's
a
not
brave
easy.
man.
Yes, it's not easy. So I took a quality, easygoing red wine. The day after, I came to the winery and I touched my winemaker and told him, David, my winemaker, his name is David.
Yes.
I asked him, David, how come we don't have in Israel good quality red wine that we're able to drink in the summer? It's in Israel, 9 months out of 12 months a year, it's summer, it's hot. So if somebody wants a heavy red, it's not easy to drink during the summertime. So he told me, David, Roy, this is exactly what I'm thinking of also. We need to produce Mediterranean style wines. I told him, all right, sit. And we sat together. I asked him a few questions. What does it mean, Mediterranean wines? So David told me, easy. Mediterranean wines, meaning we need to produce it from Mediterranean varieties that give the best results when they planted.
Very different, absolutely.
Yes, when in the Mediterranean shore, they give the best result. Told him, all right, what else? And then he stops. He told me, I don't know what else. So we did brave decision. I called Mark Squires. He works for Robert Parker. Mark Squires is in charge for the Mediterranean areas to give them the scores and degrees and stuff like that. And I asked him a very simple question. Mark, I have a question. We want to produce Mediterranean wines. Please give me a name of a winemaker that you think is the best in the Mediterranean area. So he gave me a few names and he told me, Roy, the last one is the best one. I asked him, who is the last one? He told me, Professor Yanis Paraskevopoulos. He's a Greek guy. Greek, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the name.
Yeah, he owns a Gaia Winery, which is maybe the most famous winery in Greece when it comes to quality wines. And he also the dean of the wine faculty in Athens University for the last 20-something years. Yeah, so we took a flight. We interviewed few winemakers. And of course, Yanis, we kept to the end. And he came to the hotel. We brought him some Tulip wines to show him what we have already.
Right.
And we gave him our vision, what we want to do. And for 2 hours, he gave us lots of tips, what we should do in order to get a quality Mediterranean wines. And after 2 hours, he said, Roy, thank you. I hope I help you in something. Please, if you have a bottle in a few years, send me to see what was the results. Sure. I told him, Yanis, I want you on board. I want you to be with us on this project. He told me I can't. And then like an Israelis, I told him, all right, the end of the negotiation is that we're working together. You just now need to say what we need to do in order together. So to make a long story short, in the last 11 years, Yanis working with us on Maya Winery. And this is maybe to the next episode, we'll talk more about Maya.
We will talk about that more, but I think that is really part of your character, Roy. You come up with things and you make it happen. Now, I don't know what you are doing, but either you're drinking fabulous tulip wines, but you look really young for your age. Now, in 2003, you were a 25-year-old young man. You opened Tulip Winery in Israel, okay? You wrote the business plan for the winery, and you had a vision for different wines. Now, how did you begin this adventure into wine?
Actually, I grew up in a wine lover family. So since I born, actually, wine was the subject that connected the whole family. So every time we traveled abroad, we visit wineries, and of course, we're collecting wine at home. And every dinner, we open a nice bottle and talking about the bottle. But it was like a hobby for everybody. It's not nobody in my family was working in the wine industry. And in 2003, me and my father and my older brother, we were to a wine exhibition in Israel. And in this year, 2003, there was a section of boutique, small or garage wineries, small, very small wineries, that each one of them got smaller table and they poured their wines and they were happy. So just when we left the exhibition, I told my father and my brother, guys, how come we so love wines and we don't produce wine? Let's produce wines. And they told me, oh, no, we're busy. I have my own job. I told them, all right, I'm student first year, and if I have time, I'm going to do that. So this is the place that I took the decision to start to produce wine. Actually, when I said it, I didn't know that it's going to be business and big business and with huge success, but that was the idea. And the day after, I took a piece of paper. On the top, I wrote business plan. Between me and you, nothing connecting to business plan, but I thought it's a business plan. And I wrote to myself 3 main goals. And the first goal was, okay, you're going to produce wine. What do you want to do? What are the goals? What are the path that you want to go? So the first goal was to produce high-end quality wines. I didn't want to produce, not quality wines or supermarket wines, how we call it in the streets. So that was the first goal, quality, meaning everything that influenced the quality, from the vineyard through the equipment, through knowledge like winemakers. I'm going to invest the top.
Now, let me just stop you there. How did you actually get into this? Because you said you were studying, but this is a big undertaking, to start a winery. Did you have any knowledge about making wine itself, or apart from drinking, Roy?
Nothing, zero. So I zero. That's why the first thing I did is to, after I wrote the business plan, I did some research in Israel. The first money I spent was to consulting. I took a PhD in winemaking, Dr. Arkady Papikian. He was the most talent winemaker in Israel. So I came to him and I told him, Mr. Arkady, I want to produce my own wine, and quality is my first goal. And I don't know how to do it. Please consult me. And it was huge amount of money for me as a business that just started. It was a very, very big amount of money. But still, I'm very strict to my goals. And if I wrote a goal to produce quality wine,
you're going to do it.
Anything is needed in order to get it.
Okay.
So in June 29th, 2003, that was the first day when I got my space. And Arkady, the consultant, came to the place, with a tie, with a suit, very, very successful winemaker. And he told me, all right, Roy, where is the winery? So I was proud to show him the room. It was like 50, 60 square meters room, very small room. I started very small. And I told him, this is the winery. He told me, Roy, where is the barrels? Where is the tanks? Where is the pumps? Where is everything? I told him, Arkady, this is the first day. I have nothing. He told me, Roy, please sit down. I sat. He said, Roy, it's June 29th. You know that in a month from now, it's the harvest time. You have vineyard? I told him I have nothing. But I told him, Arkady, you tell me what you need and I will get it. I just said it without knowing what I'm going to do, but we flew the barrels, we flew tanks, I bought pumps, we were running all over the country to choose the best vineyards, and I paid lots of money just to get a vineyard. And this is started, and the harvest was happened.
That's how it began.
That's how it began, with the production of 7,000 bottles. That was the first year.
Wow.
And since then, it's grow and grow during the year till now that we're producing like 350,000 bottles a year, selling in Israel, selling in 14 different countries around the globe.
Are you selling in Canada?
Yes, a little bit. Some years we're selling to the LCBO. It's not every year because they have, a tender every year. And if you get the tender, you're in. If you don't get the tender, you're out. But we sell also, there is a bypass that we sell only to Jewish communities. You can buy it not through the LCBO if you sell it to sacramental purpose.
Of course.
So for the Jewish in Canada, we sell. We hopefully, to be more and more.
Maybe we can connect you with someone in the West Coast.
I would be more than happy.
Now, everything that you've told me, you've gone in, you've had that heart, you're fearless, you're matchless, that enthusiasm, the determination. And I take my hat off to you for that. Now, in an interview in 2020 with Moshe Maya, you gave that story of wanting to open the winery where there was a village, right? And it's a sort of kibbutz-style environment with approximately then, and even now, I believe, around 250 special needs citizens. Now, you wanted to open that winery to give them, as you put it, not only a job, but also to be involved in the wine industry. Now, you said you approached the head and you took him aside and you explained it to him, and he said you had to wait 10 seconds for the response. What went through your mind during that 10 seconds before he responded?
To be honest, in those days, 10 seconds in his office, I was thinking to myself that he's going to throw me away from the office. What is this idea? How come you're a crazy young 25 years old guy? But of course, after 10 seconds, he told me, Roy, please stand up. And he was like, I was 25, he was like 55. And he came to me and gave me a huge hug, like a father hug. And he told me, Roy, it's the best idea I ever heard in my life. I'm with you. What do you need from me? And I asked him just for a room and few people from the village in order to employ them. And actually, all the story with the Village of Hope, it starts also on, I'm going back to my business plan. We talked about the first goal, but the third goal, and maybe later on we'll talk about the second, the third goal was to do something good for the community, to the world. Not only to make money, not only to make good quality wines, but also to do something to other people. And the idea came a little bit earlier. I was an officer in the Air Force in Israel. And when I got my
wings,
officer degrees, whatever, suddenly I got like 50 soldiers that I'm their commander. And once a quarter, every quarter, I took them to do something for the community. Actually, my bosses in the army, they told me, "Are you crazy? It's the opposite. The society helps the army, not the army helps the society."
Right.
But I told my boss, look, when parents put their kids with us for 3 years, we have the responsibility not only to make sure they will win the next war, but also we need to give them values, and to give to poor people or to weak people, to help them.
Challenge,
Yes, I think it's a very valuable things to give to the soldiers. So every quarter I took them to do volunteer in the community, And the first thing we did is to paint retirement hotel, for old people.
Yes, yes.
So my 50 soldiers, instead of taking guns, they took in brushes, and we went to paint, the walls of retirement hotel in a city near our base.
Wonderful story.
And we were working very hard. And the day after that happened the magic. What was the magic? I saw 50 soldiers so satisfied, so happy, so fulfilled with good vibes because what they did the day before. And in the other side, I got many phone calls from the old people from the hotel. They told me, wow, it's amazing what you've done for us. It's now much nicer to be here, blah, blah, blah. So I thought to myself, it's so easy. It was so easy. For one day, I took my 50 soldiers, we did something for others, and all the 100 or 150 people are very, very happy. So this is why I decided that my business, any business that I will be involved, will do something good for the community. Yes.
Excellent. So just for our viewers who are not sure, the Village of Hope is a village based on a sort of kibbutz styled structure where the special needs, all the citizens of the kibbutz there are special needs. So they have challenges, and despite that, Roy has cooperated with the kibbutz. Now, how did you find out about that kibbutz? And what was the main feature for you to work with them? So community was one, but how did you find out about them?
The kibbutz is located like 5 minutes from the house where I was born and raised my whole life. So I knew the kibbutz since I was a very young guy. It's the first kibbutz in this style kibbutz for people with disabilities in the world.
Yes.
Yes, the goal of the kibbutz is to give those people with special needs the opportunity to live normal life, actually like us. And they live every few people in a small apartment in the kibbutz. They are going to breakfast every day in a common dining room. And after breakfast, everybody goes to work because job, also us. Most of the time of the day, we're spending in our jobs, and those people, they don't have a job because nobody wants them, because the efficiency is very little, and also the attention that you need to give them is very high. So most of the business owners and CEOs, they think they are going to lose huge amount of money if they employ those people, and I believe exactly the opposite. And I'll tell you why I believe it's the opposite. Please. Actually, today we're employing 45 people from the village with mentally disabilities. And I think, of course, there are, the spiritual way of thinking, like if you give, you get back and stuff like that. But spiritual, it's something that we can argue on. Some people believe in spiritual, some people don't believe in spiritual.
Sure.
Myself, I believe in spiritual. When you do good, you get good.
Okay.
But it's a different story. But instead of that, I think also my regular employees, I think they are the best employees in the world. And not because my salesman is the best salesman, and not because my winemaker is the #1 winemaker in the world, and not because the marketing people are the best marketing people in the world. But I think in our generation, people goes to work for few reasons. First, to get salary, you need to buy food and to pay bills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Second, to fulfill their career. All right, you want to improve your career every time. In my business, they get the salaries, they get the career that they want to improve, but they also have a meaning. When you have a meaning to your job, you become better worker, better in your field. So my salesman he's not only get the salary, not only improving his career, he also knows every morning he wake up to the work, he has a meaning for what he's doing. And that's make him the best salesman in my opinion. So all the atmosphere and the vibes of the organization of Tulip Winery is totally different from any other businesses. And we see it every day in our eyes. For instance, I'll give you an example. One of my workers is 48 years old. He worked for me in the last 8 years since he was 40. And till the age of 40, he didn't speak any word. He was mute. And 3 months after he start work in the winery, this guy is speaking like you and like me. And I was thinking to myself, why? What happened that, okay, you get a job, that's it. Why it changed him so much? And I think those people didn't have any reason to wake up in the morning. Unlike us, we always have a reason to, almost always, have a reason to wake up in the morning, to go to the kindergarten, to school, to university, kids, family, wife, husband, blah, 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 you know, everything. Sure. They don't have it. They don't have it. And
so
for
let me pose
this
to
guy,
you.
just to close the point,
of course,
this guy, for his first time in his life, he has a reason to wake up in the morning. Somebody is waiting for him. He's very proud to see our wines in restaurants or in the television or in an article in the newspaper. And the first time he gets salary, he can buy flowers to his mother when she has a birthday or something like that. So for us, it's like, you know, this is the everyday, but for them, it's something life-changer.
What an extraordinarily heartwarming story that you've shared with us, Roy. I mean, it's remarkable what they've gone through. Now, you have seen this yourself. You have lived it, you thought about it, you lived it, you made it happen. Now, are you a champion of this type of cooperation in other parts of the world? Are you doing something to encourage, let's say, other wineries to do this? Are you doing something like that at all?
Yes, I'm doing a lot. First of all, I'm one of the first members in Israel in an organization called Conscious Capitalism. It started in America, in the United States, and we brought it to Israel. So I'm giving lots of lectures to big companies, management, owners. I'm doing lectures in the university for second degree in business school. So everywhere I can spread my word that any business, it's not only the wine industry, it's any business in the world in our generation. I believe if we want to make a better place, a better world for us, or for our kids to live, every business needs to do something little. You don't need to, okay, what I'm doing, I'm not saving the world, all right, but let's be honest. But in my area, in my field, I'm doing my best. But if any business will do this, definitely will change the world. And this is what I want to do, to change the world through the business. And I'll tell you, it's not ruining the business. It's not damage the profit. The opposite. I believe that if you do so, you have more profit and more success in your business.
That's amazing, because what you're actually saying is there's so much more than just the financial benefit. But let me ask you a question that I think will strike the very heart of reality here. They are challenged. There must be a limitation to what they can do. So is it only, certainly, let's talk about the winery. Is there only certain things and certain activities that you let them get engaged in?
Yes. First, I have a manager that is 100% responsibility is to take care for them. And he knows each one of them, what he can do and what he can't do. Okay, it's very different between each of them, what are the abilities. But most of the things they are doing the best, better than us, to be honest, if you give them simple and monotonic jobs. For instance, now we are in the bottling season. So to put empty bottles on the machine, you know, for the whole day,
Of
to
course.
put empty bottles, somebody needs to do that. If
Sure.
I'll do that, after a few hours, I will shut myself. And they can do it for months in a row, and they are happy because they are success like any other people. It's not too complicated mission for them. So we're
you're
choosing for
matching the
them.
right activity for their skills. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
for each one of them.
Okay, so
And
it's very specific.
and of course, we're managing the risk. I will not give them to put something in a 20,000 liter tank of wine to put something that if they'll do mistake, it's a $1 million mistake. So
Right.
probably I will not give them to do that. So the helping and everything also to hosting in the visitor center. They're giving the wine, they're taking out the plates, and you know, they're cleaning the place. So everything's they're doing in the winery, almost.
Okay, understood. Now, you know, let's while we're talking about people and capital, you know, I wanted to ask you this particular question as a winemaker, Roy. You know, many wineries across the globe, from the Douro Valley in Portugal to the wineries in Ningxia, China, and certainly France, North America, there's this common complaint that there's a labor shortage. How are you coping with this? And is it a problem at all in Israel?
Yes, absolutely. It's a problem also in Israel. In my business, in my winery, and also in my 400 dunams of vineyards, we're doing in everything by hands, almost.
Now, dunams, for our listeners, dunams is the Israeli equivalent of an acre.
It's not an acre. I don't remember how to you multiply in order to get an acre, but I can check it later on. But 1 dunam, it's 1,000 square meter. But
that's
never mind.
Right.
It's a yield of 400 tons of grapes. Anyhow, in our vineyards, almost everything from the pruning, of course, till the harvesting, we're doing by hand, meaning we need lots of hand work in the fields. And like you said, like other countries, also in Israel, we lack of simple workers to work in the field. In Israel, to import workers from abroad, it's very, very complicated and very, very expensive because the government wants that the jobs will go to the citizens. But the problem is that citizens, they don't work in the fields. Meaning of this short story is that the price of 1 hour worker or a day working raising every year.
So this is the story that's happening everywhere in the world. This is what I'm hearing.
Yes, yes, exactly the same in Israel.
Okay. Now, do you handpick when you harvest, or do you use machine?
Only handpick.
Only handpick. All right.
100% handpick, 100% hand pruning, 100% almost everything except spraying that we're doing with tractor. Everything is by hand.
Now, what are the sort of main grape varieties you have there? And is your wine mainly koshered, Roy?
Yes.
Mainly koshered. What are the varieties that you grow and make?
We're doing some, more mainstream varieties, but also some unique or Mediterranean varieties. So the mainstream is like Cab and Merlot and Cab Franc and Syrah and Shiraz and Petit Verdot and Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay.
Do you make Emerald Riesling? Do you grow Emerald Riesling?
No. To be honest, Emerald Riesling, it's hot climate version for the Riesling, but it's not, as far as in my opinion, all right, it's a personal opinion, I never drunk high quality Emerald Riesling. I don't think it's a variety for high-end wines. I think it's more for table wines. Okay. And this is not my field, table wines.
Right.
And the out-of-the-box varieties are like Marsanne, French Colombard, Durif, and some other different varieties that we're growing.
Excellent. Now, Roy, you're a very charming man, and I'm sure enjoying life for you is a real pursuit, as it is for many others. What is a perfect three-course meal and wine pairing for you, Roy?
Wow, it's a tough question. I believe that a good wine depends not only the meal, mostly the company and the attitude that you are in. You know, the joke that what the best wine you ever drank. I don't remember the wine, but she was blonde and nice looking. I truly believe that wine need to improve any situation. All right, if you do it during a meal, if you're doing just afternoon when you came back at home and you want a small glass of wine just to feel good afternoon. So I think wine is the company. During the last few years, my personally taste changed a little bit.
Oh, yes.
I'm drinking more whites and rosé. And when it comes to red, I prefer now very elegant wines and not too heavy wines. This is my personality, because also my food here in Israel, we eat not heavy food. Mediterranean food is easygoing, you know, fish and vegetable salads and stuff like that, and olive oil and cheese. And we eat less steaks like in the past, steak with a creamy sauce and foie gras on top of it, and we still have it, but less and less, when we eat more and more healthy and more light. And this is why I think my taste, my palate changed also in the wine to more light wines, because the food changed also.
So you're indeed a wise man, Roy, where, you know, your perfect pairing for a three-course dinner, it depends on who you're having it with and what's the attitude. I think that is a great answer. Now, where do you see the future for Tulip wineries in 10 years' time when we interview you again? Obviously, we hope to do it before, but let's say in 10 years' time, right? What's the vision now?
Look, to grow, it's need to be the obvious, you know, vision to myself, but it's not. Growing is not my vision. All right, maybe I will grow, but first of all, I want to always, even though Tulip considered as one of the most quality wines in Israel, probably the top 5 among 400, still every year I'm investing huge amount of money to improve qualities in the vineyards and in the winery. All right, so I truly believe that we are in a very important stage in the wine industry in Israel, that the world start talking with us. They're now considering us as a wine country, which 20 years ago wasn't exist at all. Yes. And I think the winery owners have the responsibility to improve that to the world. Guys, we know how to do quality wines, to be humble, but to do so. Quality always on my spot, and I believe in 10 years from now, the quality of the wines, even though that now they are very quality, they will be more and more quality, and also innovation. I'm always, me and my employees, I'm always encourage them to think out of the box, to think differently, even though it's very conservative industry. All right, we're producing wine in Israel for the last 6,000, 7,000 years. So it's very conservative to take grapes, to ferment it, and you have wine. But always I'm thinking on innovation, how to do things different and how to go out of the box. So probably in 10 years from now, we'll have some more our own startup. It's not startup like startup missions to change the wine industry.
Wonderful. Now, You know, we at APWASI Wine, we have a very large platform right across. And listening to you, Roy, has been very inspirational story, very heartwarming. And it's taken courage, determination, the fortitude of your vision, as you said, which you never lost. And what message would you like to share with employers? Doesn't matter whether they're winery owners or any other business owner. What message would you like to share with them, given the experience you've had with the Village of Hope?
I can tell every business owner or CEO that everybody that involved in his business need to be in a win. First of all, like you have business goals, you need to have value goals, all right? And to check them every quarter, every year, like you're doing in the business, like financial reports. You need to do goal reports, goals, value goals, not money goals. So in these two directions, any business needs to be managed. 99% of the businesses, they're thinking only money goals. Second, everybody that involved in your business need to be satisfied. First of all, your employees. Second, suppliers. Third, clients. And of course, owners or whatever. But everybody, all the the ecosystem that involved in your business need to be in a win. For example, when I'm negotiated with a supplier that sell me whatever, glass, all right?
Of
The
course.
glass of wine, I will negotiate, but in the end, I will ask him two questions. First, do you satisfied with the results? And second, do you earn money with the results? If I get no, there is no business. I want him to earn money and I want him to be satisfied. And this is why my suppliers goes with me for 18 years. And this is why my clients go with me for 18 years. And this is why my employees, even though they don't get high-tech salaries, they go with me many, many years. And this is how I think you need to manage business today.
Okay. Roy Itzhaki, it's been a pleasure interviewing you. Thank you very much. A truly inspirational story.
Thank you.
Mazel tov to you. Mazal bracha. Shalom.
Mazal bracha. Toda rabba. It was my great pleasure for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please comment, like, share, or subscribe to our videos.